to the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend, who I keep gifting booked to different people in my life, Chael P. Sonnen. Now, you know when people retire to take off the gloves? Well, I'm actually going to step up my training. I'm going to start my training camp very, very soon. I coach nowadays, but as you can see, or will see very, very soon, I yield a few bounties, some booty from a competition. Gi, no gi, all of it. All right, so just like Kurt Angle, I hold two gold medals here. Just like Henry Cejudo Triple C. This one for me, this one is probably the most vital because this is me working to get out the hood. So, Chill, you and I have shared something in common. I read your story, I read your book. Yes. Who am I? I'm the kid at the library, probably growing up. Let me show you who that kid is. Growing up in the hood. I'm a migrant, I'm an immigrant. You're like, how does it happen? Sociology major and graduate, sir. So that's me growing up. So I have a lot of respect for you, Chosanin. And as a dad, that's why I'm wearing my dad hat today. Context clues, everyone. Because I read Chosanin's story, the book, the documentaries. I'm a martial artist. Um, at a time, I was considering going pro. Trained amateurs, did a bunch of sparring, got all of that out of my system. Almost went into the United States military. Almost became a police officer. Became a professor. Became a coach. Became a dad, and I coach now, train every single day. My background is a little bit different. I have applied yoga to martial arts as a recovery. And think of DDPY, Diamond Dallas Page Yoga, except mix that with a little bit of a Iyengar yoga, which is the warrior's yoga. Shosanen, you probably knew that. If you didn't, that's a really good recovery. And it's the warrior's yoga, Chi. And as a lifelong martial artist, Joe San is just a really good role model, right? I've had many different questionable people around my life, maybe telling me to do this or do that, maybe trying to enlist me to do things that I have no interest in. So someone like Joe Sanin, who, like my dad, just a straight up person, and in Spanish we say fuerte, their backbone, and it will tell you what justice is, right? When something's not right, that's Chosanin, you know? So someone who is classy, very well spoken, and not soft, right? When people think of educated, when people think of, Will Smith has this in a song, right? What did he say? Something about Eminem. He says, Will Smith doesn't have to cuss in his records. Well, F him and F you too. And then they say, Mr. Nice Guy. That's what Will Smith says. He's a nice guy, but don't mistake nice for soft. And Chael Sonnen is the representation as a martial artist. I mean, the kindest person. And yeah, and when it's time to go competition, then the thing about Chael Sonnen is that people say he talks trash, but what he's doing is he's increasing the bounty for putting his life on the line, like many martial artists do. Now, Muhammad Ali has done that, right? Mike Tyson, and yes, I'm putting Chael Sonnen up there with them. Chael Sonnen is a complete martial artist. Now, you have your goats, you have your greats, and all respect to the arts, but you do need to train everything. I'm not throwing this out there, but Chael Sonnen versus Mike Tyson in MMA. I'm just saying, if you wanted to see, we got a little bit of it with Randy Couture versus James Tony. But Randy Couture was like, I'm just going to take this guy down. I'm not going to, you know. And Randy Couture and James Tony, maybe it would happen with Mike Tyson. But Mike Tyson is the baddest man on the planet. And Chael Sonnen, though, has hands, like underrated hands. I apologize, Chael, but, growing up, I did study Anderson Silva a lot. And I know you and him are buddies now, barbecue. But that front kick that came from Steven Seagal, I've been, Michael Chandler did. I was like, really? Okay, the Taekwondo front kick that I've been practicing all these years. That's the one. Okay, that's it. But you got to tweak it just a little bit, just like Steven Seagal did. And I just think that that would be more than a spectacle. That would be a legendary bout, right? Chael Sonnen, the Chuck Norris of our century, and yeah, I just have a lot of respect for you. I read your book, Sociology. I'm anthropology. I did study sociology as well. So when I train and when I bring students, because I'm a professor, teacher, and students got me troubled, I'm like, well, man, don't what helped me is martial arts. It kept me away from the gangs because I didn't view the gang members as like tough guys. I just viewed them as bullies, and I viewed my senseis as the tough guys. Like those are the ones who really put in the work for justice, equity, equality, and defending their family and honor, right? So, not to get too behind the point, but I'm wearing this dad hat because I do see the work that Chosani does with his son. Congratulations, I'm a dad too. I train my son every day. And every now and then we just turn on the TV, training videos, whether that be your videos, Chosanin, or some Jiu-Jitsu, Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, Ninth Planet, anything. UFC, Bellator, RAF, anything in the background while training. So we do that. And you're just very inspirational and you're very kind. So I appreciate, the reason I got this number is because Area Hawani, they're like, oh, they linked Chosan's number. And I was like, oh. And then they gave out the number. And I was like, let me just say, hey, what's up, Joe? Bless you. And I said something along those lines. And then nothing came about. Number was saved on WhatsApp. I go on WhatsApp every now and then, planning some moves, talking with family, extended family. They're all using WhatsApp. And now I was going to see Joe Son. And I'm like, oh, well, I am doing some promotional work right now, and I don't know who owns this number. It says Cho Sonnen, and he's a cool dude. He might like it if it still works, his still number. If it's not, oh well. Sent it, responded, went on his official YouTube channel, went to my stream here on Don Rivera Diaz, DR Diaz, and I mean, joined the stream, started chatting with us. Well done, thank you. I appreciate that. Times are tough. Kindness goes a long way. It says it in the Bible. Hope is the anchor of the soul. So let's keep on moving forward. Positivity. And Chosun is a great example. Just be present and a really good reminder for dads out there. You got to be present for your kids. The most important part of a son of a child's life, not just a son of a child's life, are their parents. And for a son specifically, I'm sorry, mothers. No, 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 no. The mother is the most important, but the dad does need to be there. And Chosun is a reminder of that where, hey, if I'm training, my son is training, my children are training, my daughters are training. If I'm, working in the garden, my kids are there with me, or at least the invitation is there. If we're training boxing today, the invitation is there and the encouragement, because that is our role. So thank you, Chosan. And you're like, hey, what is this about me? Being a dad, being a martial artist, everything, man. I give shout outs to people, give roses where credit is due. Thank you so much for being an inspiration. I got a little bit sidetracked with Mike Tyson. No worries. I have a lot of respect to you. You do a really good job commentating as well. Raf, I see you. And maybe one day we'll get to train together, get the kids together, train. And, just show us Oregon if you're still there. I'll show you wherever I'm at. Keep training and wear these just for you. And I look forward to talking with you. Peace. Let me go take you over to the library.